Hi everyone, this is Abrar. Welcome to Abrar Knowledge channel. Today we are going to discuss interesting topic ISO 19011 and the version is 2018 version, that is the latest standard as such. So as you all know that 19011 is for guidelines for auditing management system. When we talked about management system, it can be ISO management system, that is quality management system, that is ISO 9001. It can be aerospace, it can be medical, it can be automotive, it can be any other standard, any other regulatory standard. So for all of these things, this standard will be super handy to know that tricks and tips of how to do an audit and all that, right? So what are these classes it contains? It contains 7 classes. First is scope, number 2 is normative reference, number 3 is terms and definition. Just like ISO or any other standard has brought these 3 classes, scope, normative reference and terms and definition, exactly in the same thing ISO 190 also has got the same 3 classes as such, no change. But actually no change, this is in the classes no change, but there is a change inside the content. Let's talk about the class number 4, that is called principle of audit. What is the people skills we need to have, what is the leadership skills we need to have, when we need to give a benefit of doubt and all that. So I'm going to zoom out these versions in the upcoming videos, but just to give you an idea, that high level idea, that principle of audit where the various people skills, leadership skills and all these roles and responsibility have been explained. And then managing the audit program. Even as you all know that any standard, it forms a perfect way of process approach, plan, do, check, tag, right? In this managing the audit program also, the standard has given a quotation like, when you establish the program, how you execute the audit, and how you evaluate the audit, how you conclude the audit. So plan, do, check, tag. So managing the audit, again this also I'm gonna zoom it out in exclusively one sort of videos. And then you have conducting an audit, that's very important. Conducting an audit also, there are guidelines are available being supplied by ISO 19011. Then lastly we have the competence of an auditor, that's very important. The auditor has to be competent, has to be qualified, has to be certified, all of these things being mulled over in this class number 7. The other class is evaluation of audit, how the audit goes and what are the checks and balance we have and all that. So in summary, there are 7 classes of ISO 19011, that is the standard for guidelines for auditing skills. Let's talk about a little bit of precursor point. Number 1, so we have, it's the 3rd edition. For example, ISO 9001 is a 5th edition, right? The latest revision we have is the 5th edition, but in this case it is a 3rd edition, and it is applicable not only to conduct the internal audit, not only to conduct the interested party audit, such as supplier audit, that is called external provider, or in any audit. So this standard including the external audit, whether it's internal audit, external, that's what class number 1 it talks about. It says that this standard is applicable for all. It is applicable for first party audit, and it's applicable for second party, third party. That means it is applicable for internal audit, it's applicable for external audit, it's applicable for supplier audit. We can use this as a guidelines to perform an audit. So any audit. Let's talk about the second thing. This is also for all applicable standards. Let's say you wanted to have IATF, or you wanted to have a medical standard. So this can be super handy. This will be serve as a common ground or gaining ground to pick up the guidelines and conduct an audit for your required and applicable standard. The lastly, what is audit? That's an interesting question, right? So it has been given in this one, terms and definition. It says that audit is what? Systematic, first word, it's a systematic way of doing it, and independence. So you remember the rule that auditor shall not do an audit for own function, own his or her function, right? We cannot do an audit for own function. So audit is what? Audit is systematic, independence and documenting process for which the audit criteria or audit evidences are evaluated objectively, to which the audit criteria is being fulfilled. Meaning, like, it's a completely systematic independence process, a documented process. Okay, so and then actually this same standard has got 57 pages, and then it gives, after the end of this class number 7, it has given the annexure. The annexure is called informative. In that there are different things. In informative, it talks about when you are doing an audit for interaction, on-site audit, when you are doing for remote audit, whether you have a human interaction, non-human interaction, how to observe. For example, let's say human interaction you have and you're doing an on-site audit, that means you have you are in upper hand. So that means you can you can make sure that actually you can you can focus on the body language of an operator, body language of the appraiser, or body language of RDT, and all that you can observe. You can also take down the what is the safety norms, whether the safety norms been followed, whether the validation method has been effective, and all that. You have more options. Human interaction with the audit. Let's say you have a human interaction with the remote. That means remote you will not be able to see things, but you will be able to see virtually through Zoom and through video conferencing and all that. You will not be able to see, but what it says is you can zoom it out and you can try to see the body language of an RDT. And then it says a non-human interaction. So let's say you are in a testing department, you don't have a human interaction, all these been automated. So what you will do, you will just rely upon the results. More than that, you will rely upon the documented information. And then non-human interaction and remote you are doing it, then you will just see who supplied the certificate, NABL and all that. So you will question about the authority, you will question about who has supplied the certificate and so on. So this is the one part that is given in the annexure 1, that is called informative. Another one information is sampling. So audit, as you all know, that is a completely sampling basis. So in this one it has given this general. So because it says that 100% practically it is not possible to conduct 100% audit all the time, 100 sampling. So what you have to do, sometimes you have to go judgment based audit. What is meant by judgment based audit? That means you have to pick up the previous audit, you have to pick up the latest customer complaint, you have to pick up what is the breakthrough changes happen in the organization. Those things you can do that way also. That is called judgment based audit. The last one is called statistical audit. Statistical audit meaning like you rely upon the discrete data and continuous data. You look through the control chart, you look through the data type and so on and so forth. That is one part of this one. So let's talk about part 2. Part 2, what are the things coming up in part 2? Part 2 we're going to talk about Zoom version of type of audit. What are the different type of audits we have, like first party audit, second party audit, third party audit, what are the example and all that. And then categories of audit like process audit, product audit, system audit, integrated audit. All of these things we're gonna mull over in part 2. Please stay tuned. And just to give you a summary, this is a wonderful standard for guidelines for auditing management system. Please do like, share, subscribe my channel. You have a wonderful day ahead.